Hi, I'm Amira Rose Davis, Assistant Professor of History and African American Studies. Congratulations on your acceptance to Penn State, and welcome to the College of Liberal Arts. I teach many classes across the departments of History, African American Studies, and Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies, but by far my favorite class to teach and the one most closely related to my research interests are Critical Sports Studies classes. These classes explore the history of sports. How did we come to love sports so much? What is the history of fandom? What is the history of football? But also looks at critical intersections of race, gender, sexuality, politics, and sports, the long history of athletic activism, which of course is very timely right now. I also am a sports podcaster. I have a weekly sports podcast. And because of my role with that, oftentimes I'm able to bring special guests into our classroom, whether it's sports historians, other authors, or Olympians, professional athletes, other college athletes. I found that it gives our students a direct access to talk about these critical issues with people who have a foot in the game. And we have a lot of really generative discussions that I find really fun to have. Another way that my own personal interests intersect and come into the classroom are with podcasting. And this doesn't just happen in my sports related classes. In fact, one of my favorite assignments is a podcast assignment I do in my History of the Civil Rights course, where groups of students in threes or fours go into the library, they look at primary sources, they look at the digital archives that we have available to us here at Penn State, and they create their own podcast about a little known event of civil rights history. At the end of the semester, we listen to all the podcasts, we create a series, and we all learn a little something. My favorite part about working in CLA is the ability to reach out and have such an intellectual, robust community across multiple departments. You can see this especially in our Moments for Change, our year-long EDGE explorations. 2 years ago, we did exploration of 1968. I'm lucky enough to be able to teach the iteration of that class, the Global 60s. We do oral histories with Penn State alumni and other people from the 60s, and have so much fun collecting these stories of the past. And that developed from a team taught course across multiple departments in the College of Liberal Arts. This year, of course, we're doing Moments of Change, women's activism, and that's a really exciting time too. Just recently along those themes, sponsored by the College of Liberal Arts, I hosted an event on Black women's athletic activism that featured Olympians, professional athletes from the WNBA to professional softball players and college athletes discussing the long history of Black women's athletic activism. And so those are the events that I get to put on in the College of Liberal Arts and how I bring my interest in critical sports studies and in history to the classroom and beyond.